Thank you for visiting PianoLessonsForLife.com. My name is Greg. I'm your personal piano professor. We're dealing with Danny Boy here. And I'm just going to go through this simple melody, and we'll talk about what makes a simple melody, and what makes it memorable. I included the chord chart on there, also with the notes on the website at PianoLessonsForLife.com. Also a couple of versions for your ears, some ear candy. My favorite vocal version by Tony Bennett, also my favorite jazz version by Bill Evans, jazz pianist extraordinaire. You know him, you love him. If you haven't heard him, you should take a listen to that, and it will be educational and entertaining for you. So anyways, I'm just going to play the chart through the way that I did it, although I'm not looking at it, I'm doing it more from memory, so if it's not exact, hopefully you'll get the idea. And I'm going to keep it simple, basically. You know, I'm putting it in the key of C, I'm keeping the chords kind of in here so you can see what I'm doing. You know, and I imagine that most of you are kind of beginning players. Of course, if you're not, you can spice it up any way you want. Let's just play a little bit of that first melody. Starts on a B note and ends on the E, that first phrase. Ends on the third of the chord, which is a important note. The third kind of stands out to people, so you'll find a lot of melodies start on that. And again, this melody is going to use all pentatonic note scales. Pentatonic scale notes is what I meant to say. Okay, there's the whole first phrase. Then it repeats again. This is identical to the first phrase. And then a little ending. Okay. So we've got elements of repetition both in the rhythm and in the melodic notes there that you'll find in all common melodies. Also the use of pentatonic notes, which is notes easy to remember. I guess I would say that about them. Of course, you could harmonize this whole song with three chords, C, F, and G if you wanted to. To the F chord, back to the C, G, F, C to G. Okay, the whole song could be harmonized with those, but I added some nice chords to, so you'll have a way to make it sound a little jazzier by using sevenths and ninths and flat ninths. Those kinds of things make it sound more jazzy, and they make that simple melody sound a little more rich. One thing you might try and do sometime is go through a melody and write down how that note relates to the chord. Okay, so we've got a seventh, a root, a second or a ninth, a third. Okay, it's a good exercise to do too, because it'll show you what you're using in terms of chord tones or scale tones. And we'll talk about more about that in another lesson. I want to keep this a little short and just play the song through with the chord changes. Now, another thing about melodies is they tend to rise and build in terms of intensity emotionally. And one of the techniques we use to rise is to bring the melody up and play higher to a peak. And this melody certainly does that. So the second part of our Danny Boy melody goes like this, and you'll see we're up higher now in a different octave range. And we're up high again. Big peak where we go up to this high E note. Okay? And then the melody ends like this, like it began. And it ends on the tonic note, like most good melodies do, ends on the first note of the scale or the chord. So I'm just going to play it through. Again, the things that we found in Danny Boy: repeating phrases, rhythmic phrases, also melodic phrases. Happens a few times. Also building. Um, and the ultimate climax in the melody where it jumps up to. That's a big emotional note when they sing that note too. So those are the elements there. Now, as you play more and more melodies, you're going to see commonalities, and eventually we're going to write our own melodies too. And maybe you could make some videos like this and share them with some of the other folks that visit the lessons. I'd like to see us get together and develop a little community on the website there too. So if you want to share something, I think I will put up a place where you can add content to our website here if you'd like to. So I'm just going to play it with the chord changes and just do it sort of slowly and keep it all in here so you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll probably make a mistake or two, but that's good. Mistakes are good as long as you don't repeat them, and I learn from mine. So and again, I don't rely on the music, and that's why I've developed this ear player. You know, I'll make mistakes sometimes because I'm not looking at the note, but I correct it by using my ear, and that's how you develop and be an ear player, by making mistakes, correcting them, and then not repeating them. So let's go ahead and play Danny Boy with some pretty changes. We're going to start with a major 7th chord, C major 7th, and then it says to the 6th, to the 9th, to F major 7th, to a D minor 7. Okay, pretty. E minor 7 to an A minor 7. You see, I'm right there with my A7. And then we're going to a D7. And this is, I guess you'd call it a B minor, B flat, or an A sharp diminished to a G7 chord, but that's a rich G7. I got G, 7, 9, 11, and there's the 5th of that chord. And then that whole melody is going to repeat again. To the D minor. And then we're going to do a little bit of 2 5s here. E minor to A minor to D minor to G, just to C, F, C. Second part of our melody, we're going to climb up now. And we're going to F, E minor to A minor to G, D minor 7 to G, A minor, F major 7, and here's pretty D7 chord, that diminished chord. Pretty, right? Okay. And now our big climax. Here we go. And we've got it. And here we go. Messed up a little bit there. Let's take that part again. It's how you work out a song. You mess up a part, try it again. So I'm going to take it from the second half of the melody. I didn't get it perfect there, but there's some pretty chord changes to work with. I'll try to mess with it one more time, and hopefully you'll get a visual kind of idea of what I'm doing when I work out a song. And of course, once I get comfortable with that, I can expand and I can play my arpeggios and do some, put some feeling in there too. But it all starts with getting comfortable with your chords and melody. Can't stress enough learning chords and inversions. All of that information is on the website. So let's start again. Again, not perfect, but there's some pretty stuff in there. Hope this was helpful. Again, all we were trying to do is kind of give you an idea of what makes a pretty melody. Again, I had this lesson because somebody called in and asked about it. She was learning her chords, and she said, well, how do you fit those melodies on top of those chords? So you can see it. It's interesting, and learning piano is a lifelong process. I'm still learning, and I hope to share what I'm learning along with you as time goes on. If you haven't dropped me a line on the website, click on Contact Me and let me know how you're doing. It really is real helpful when you do that. The better I get to know what your needs are, the better I can address those and give lessons that may be helpful. So thanks once again for visiting pianolessonsforlife.com, and happy playing, and see you soon.